Lindsay, before discovering this approach, parenthood as a spiritual retreat, what kept you up at night in your parenting?
I was kept up at night worrying quite consistently if I was doing it right. I felt that I was missing something, that my mind would either get caught in a worrying of what needed to be done the next day or what happened that day. And I always felt that I was missing something. And I had a consistent question of am I doing this right? Am I doing this parenthood thing right? That's what used to keep me up at night.
Thank you. And today I'm delighted to welcome Lindsay Dozman, and we will be talking about Lindsay's amazing journey of transformation through parenthood and transforming it into a spiritual practice. And I thank you for joining us today and sharing and diving deep into your experience, how it resonated with you, and what else would you like to share with like-minded and like-hearted parents. So, what would you like listeners to know about you, about your parenting situation, about your background, so that they could relate to you in our discussion?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. I am honored to be here. I um, I became a parent by surprise roughly 8 years ago. I was on this journey of more of a corporate focused journey where I had just started to develop and build my own business. And so when my husband and I got the news that we were expecting a baby, it was quite a shock. And it changed the trajectory of where we thought we were headed in the best of ways. Um, so I went through a process throughout the birth of my daughter and then my son 2 years later of initially hanging on to that full-time job, balancing that with a full-time nanny, trying to do it all, if you will. It wasn't until my son was a toddler that I felt that it wasn't working, that I was stretched too thin. And I felt that I was missing some big milestones in my children's lives. I wasn't really sure. I left my full-time position and I took on consulting, which allowed more flexibility to be with my children. So I worked with hospitals, um, and database work, which was something I developed a database system through my time working at a university hospital. And through my consulting work, I was able to be more flexible with other hospitals around the country. Through that process, I found after about a year of that, that I was still missing too much with my children. I also felt that as they were getting older and going to school more full time, that the time that I had with them was so little, and I wanted to make the most of that. I wanted to be more keyed into their everyday. My children have gone to. They started with a charter school, and then we moved to a private school. Then we've now made the decision to go homeschool, which is a blend of homeschooling at home and co-op where they leave for 1 to 2 days full time and join other children. So this blend of homeschools is blended with lessons at home, lessons at a co-op where they meet other children for 2 days a week. They have private tutoring and other activities and extracurriculars. This blend started roughly last fall. And when my husband and I decided to go this route, where we were going to, um, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, it's okay. We can start
You,
again.
okay,
Is
there
it?
is a big mower and you can't hear it?
No,
Okay,
not at
I'm
all.
just
I
going
think
to continue to talk through it. Okay,
no,
sorry
it's
about that.
basically no, it's okay. I will cut it out. Don't worry, Lindsay. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the Zoom cuts out the sound, so we're okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So it's actually very clear what you say and no external
Okay.
noise at all. Yeah.
It was hard even to hear me talking. That's how
Oh,
loud it is by the window. They should be gone soon.
yeah,
But
it's fine. As long as you're
okay.
okay.
Okay, good. I'll continue.
Okay.
Uh, when my husband and I decided to go the homeschool route, I felt the worrying again. Am I doing it right? What am I missing? Now I've got my children even more than before. I put my consulting business on hold. I keyed right into my children to be as present as possible, but I still have that nagging feeling that I was missing something. And am I doing the right thing? Are they growing healthily? Am I giving them enough to grow the way that they need to grow? And I worried quite a lot. Um, right around that time, it was roughly 3 or 4 months later, I found out about Dr. Whiteley's course.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so, given that you found, something that might have resonated, so what were your initial expectations, or what were you hoping to gain when you first considered viewing or heard about the parenthood and looking onto it through a spiritual lens?
When I first, well, I had found out about Dr. Iya Whiteley through Diana Pasulka's book. And so I had seen a few interviews with your work, and I thought you were a fascinating individual. I thought your work with space psychology was incredible. When Diana Pasulka notified her social media community on Twitter that my friend Dr. Iya Whiteley is holding this parenthood as a spiritual retreat, I went right to the link. And I was so excited to find that it was you and that you were doing this. And I thought, this sounds amazing. This is exact right away. I just was immediately excited. I knew I had to do it. But even reading through, I thought, this is going to be interesting because I do love being a parent, but parenthood as a spiritual retreat, that's kind of a stretch. So I thought it was going to be uh, I thought it sounded amazing, but I also thought, we'll see about that. We'll see if it's really going to be a spiritual retreat.
Okay. All right. So, and let's not keep the listeners in suspense. Did it meet your expectations, which we will discover
Yes.
later?
Oh, my word. All of that and more. Yes. Yes. It absolutely.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's dive right into it then.
Yes.
So, in comparison, what do you think that conventional parenting wisdom that wasn't fully resonating with your experience? So, why were you looking elsewhere?
Mhm. I feel, I was feeling at the time that um, um, I was trying to find out the best way to be um, a mom that was present and there for my kids. I wanted to do the right thing. Um, also on my own spiritual journey. And I couldn't find a way to apply that to raising children. I'd read a lot of books and both on personal spiritual journeys, where it's all about the exploration of consciousness, awareness, and meaning of life. And then separately, there were parenting books, but nothing that really ever connected the two. It's either a solo journey or here's the tool set for parenthood. So the fact when I read this parenthood on your website, this parenthood has a spiritual journey, I thought this is the first time I've read anything like this. And I thought it was an amazing description for something that I was looking for. And what I found immediately was that this isn't something that's adding anything. This isn't a method. These aren't steps that you have to memorize. There's no there's no flashcards. There is a deep knowing. There's something that unlocks almost right out of the gate that resonates so deeply, and you live it. You live it. So each week through your lessons, you also would invite us to observe and experience these concepts with our children in daily activities, just in our daily day to day. Nothing has to change. You're not adding anything. You're just observing. And this, it's hard to explain. It is so powerful. It's Iya's unique ability to remind us of something we've forgotten.
Yes, yes.
It
So is that how you would maybe in a few words say what makes this approach different from other parenting methods or books,
so
as you said, that you've encountered?
it's so different. It's so different because because of Iya's unique ability to translate complex spiritual concepts, even beautiful, intricate patterns in nature. She's able to translate this into our direct experience with our children and their innate connection to the flow of life. And that is something that I have not seen anywhere before. It's so beautiful. I just have to say, everybody has to do it. They have to try it. They have to listen.
Oh, I feel us, our resonance, the laughter that we
Yeah.
share and the tears
Hmm.
as well that
Yes,
we
yes,
shared, both of joy and profound understanding and sadness. And yes, it's all about all of it together.
yes.
So, a little bit about transformation. So, what fundamental shifts in your understanding of being a mother or of parenthood are cured through this course or through our journey?
Ooh, so much. This is something that has brought so much joy. So it has enriched my my life as a mother, and I believe my children and my husband are beneficiaries. But it's not that they had to do anything different because it's not requiring anything. It's not as if I became a different person, but the concepts that are explored, the knowledge that is shared, the ability to put into words the way that we can connect at the deepest level with our children unlock something it did with me. It unlocked something within me that perhaps was there or asleep, but it's something that enriches every single moment. And it's, of course, it's not like life is perfect, but I get so much joy out of the everyday, so much more than before. And even the hard moments, I find I have a renewed ease with them. I almost, they're almost a new way to apply the lessons that we discuss. They're a new way to apply the insights. Um, oh, excuse me. I'm smiling so much it's pushing my earbuds out. They're going eat because my ear to
Space,
ear.
yes,
It's just the excitement. Um,
that's
I guess
gorgeous.
I guess before I started this course, I was searching. I felt that I was missing something, that I needed this. I felt like I was searching for something. I needed some sort of assurance that I was doing everything right. And I think in some way I was looking for that externally. This, when I came to Iya, when I came to you, this is, you showed us in such a beautiful way that we have what we need. It's here and now. We already have it. And that is something that you can only experience by going through this process, because it's very hard to put into words, but it's true. It's it's within all of us. And I'd never heard it explained to me before like that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it so delightfully, I know it's hard to put into words, and that's why
Mhm,
it's so meaningful
mhm,
to just hear you speak about this and speaking about your experience and feelings, sensations,
mhm,
and even saying that it's difficult to say, but through our discussions, it was beautiful because I could also tap into what was happening, and I am transforming with you. So it is a
mhm,
truly a joint retreat where
mhm,
we are exchanging, creating supportive field. We are conversing in what's happening right now rather than trying to plan for the future or rehashing the
mhm.
past.
Yes.
So, what changes have others, so partners and or family members or friends, have noticed or commented?
That I'm much more relaxed, easygoing. I don't I don't worry like I used to. I When I'm playing. This is what my children notice. I'm really playing. I'm really there with them. I'm not off. I mean, I thought I would always. I pride myself on being a fun mom, and I'm really good at playing with my kids. But oftentimes, my mind would just wander on what are we doing for dinner, or when is nap time, or what has to be done tomorrow, or what I could have done differently the last time there was a dispute between my daughter and my son. So even though I'm there playing, my mind would often travel, and that doesn't happen anymore. This ability to really hone in on the moment has changed my life completely, and it's never happened like that with my kids. And my husband has noticed that my approach, that I just have a much more ease. That the little things that can sometimes get on your nerves, they it's not that they don't. Sometimes being a parent is a challenge,
Yes.
but they don't upset the harmony like they did before. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It's much more of a go with the flow. Yeah.
Beautiful. It is very light, but quite profound. I feel also through our discussions before that this shift is subtle, but
Hmm.
quite deep running.
Hmm.
And I would like to maybe dive into a practical aspects of how do you integrate this into your daily life. So usually the hardest step is bringing this realizations, from any course or from being away in the retreat into our daily life, into our everyday, because we've got pressure, we get tired, we've got responsibility, things to do. So I would like to dive a little bit into how do you integrate these discoveries into your everyday life. So for example, how has this Parenthood as a Spiritual Retreat actually simplified parenting rather than add something else to your plate?
It's simplified parenting because again, this is an awakening of of knowledge that feels so familiar, but that wasn't I didn't know before. So it's not adding anything. It's enriching every experience. And it's an invitation to explore concepts that we're already searching for, an invitation to understand that these already exist in our relationships, interactions, and within our kids themselves. So this isn't anything new. It's just a profound remembering. It's a profound approach to remember. It's an invitation to remember. And it's direct experience that that shows me just the everyday, the ways that our children have this innate connection to the life flow and present so many opportunities for us to remember and connect with them.
Thank you. I also would like to share with people who are listening about one example on how you respond differently to a situation that would have previously frustrated you.
It's hard to think of one because there are many. But one that I did, it came up a couple of weeks ago, was when my daughter became very sick. And we were able to discuss this in the group following that instance. But I found myself so completely present in that moment with her in a way that I never had been before, in a way that it added this layer of just deep connection. And even though I know as a parent, we know what it's like to be with a sick child, and it awakens something in us already. It's that deep, visceral, carnal connection where we're there with them, holding their hand, holding them, worried for them, comforting them, sometimes through all hours of the night. But when that happened, as I was going through this retreat, it was as if I was seeing this experience of caring for a sick child in a different way, and truly appreciating it, and not just in a way as if before you just want it to be over. You're just a little, it's tiring, and you just want your child to feel better. But there was no rush for me in this. And although of course I wanted it to be over and I wanted my child to feel better, I could appreciate that moment. That's really hard. I could stay in that very moment with her throughout the challenge. And that was it. I would have never told you that being up all night with a sick child could have turned out to be such a beautiful thing. Ever.
Yes, yes. It was such a long, it was several days for your daughter. So, I'm glad it resolved. And thank you for sharing it and bringing it into our circle, because it is powerful to hear the story and then kind of travel with you through that and understand, our feelings, our resonance, and almost sharing space with you, and also gaining that insight that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. So thank you for sharing that openly.
Absolutely. There's another instance that it's a smaller one, but one week we had been talking about sometimes how easy it is to direct our kids. We have to do this. Get your shoes on. We're going. We're out the door, and sometimes our children say no, or why. And these instances can come up a lot, but I found myself, and I still do it to this day, also asking with them why. Yeah, is this critical? And trying to see it through their eyes. And we've actually shaved a lot off of our schedule that wasn't necessary, because sometimes just stopping and asking those questions the way that our kids ask us all the time, sometimes joining in that question in the moment, wakes us up to, uh, you know what? I don't even know why we're, this doesn't really make sense for us, does it? It just doesn't even really make sense for me. I guess I never really stopped and thought about it. So there are lots of moments like that too.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
So that you really answer my questions ahead of me. And so, in addition to those challenges, what do you find most joy now in parenting and motherhood that you might have missed before?
Mm. Everything, everything. And I'm not just saying that. It touches every part of this journey, every part, because because it's so spiritual, it is hard to put into words, but it does touch every aspect of this journey. Every moment is an opportunity to grow, to appreciate, to explore, to enjoy, to be there. Instead of, there was so much that in the past, I was always trying to get to the next event or the next part in the day that had to occur. Or sometimes getting lost in a loop of, gosh, did I handle that situation with my child the right way? That's all removed, because when you're on this journey with your children and you remember these deep things that have been long forgotten, that all falls away because you're truly joining in the journey with your children. And it's hard to explain how much joy and life there is in that. It's because you're so into it with your child, every tumble, every feat of something that they've excelled in, every sickness, every fight is another opportunity to tune back in with them in that present moment, join the life flow with them. And it's also reminded me of things that I had forgotten about my own childhood. It's allowed me to be more childlike, and I think that also has added so much joy to my life because I wake up happier. I treat things lighter. I forgive easier. I find the perfection in imperfection, just the way that my kids do without even thinking of it. These, of course, are concepts that you discuss with us.
So now that we have parents listening and enjoying diving into the journey, they might be thinking or saying, well, this is all very good and sounds wonderful and amazing, but each of us have doubts and concerns. So maybe let's talk about those things that we've experienced that might have come up for us. So, for example, what would you say to parents that are worried that they don't have time for a spiritual practice or another course or approach to fit into their responsibilities in their life, in their everyday?
I would say this isn't adding anything. This is um, a minimal. There's no requirement. This is um, a, a weekly discussion with like-minded parents and Iya, and a lesson that if you're like myself and the other participants, you will be saying yes, yes, yes through the whole thing. There isn't. It's you're just going to have to try it because there's if anything, you'll end up saving time because of the way that this simplifies the approach to parenthood. It doesn't. There's nothing to. There's nothing to. Nothing added except renewed joy and innumerable amounts of gifts that um, I couldn't see before. So even if you're worried about time, I would say I don't think this requires any of your time. The time that you would provide to take part in this is going to be well worth it.
Thank you. And I would like you to finish a sentence and something that would say that you would tell to someone who thinks, this sounds wonderful, but I don't have patience or mindfulness enough to do this.
Just try it. You're exactly the person. This is for you. I challenge you because you will, and it will be beautiful, and you will be amazed if you just give it a try, and you must because you won't regret it.
Okay, gorgeous. Thank you. And then, what kind of ripple effect has this journey had in your life?
How it's it's had a lot of ripples. It's hard. It's because it's so profound and because it's so rich and touches so many facets of being a parent. It's hard to kind of, it's really hard to conceptual. It's hard to talk about one ripple, for example, of how this has impacted my life. But I would just say each moment I've had with my children, each day has been infused with a presence and an awareness that didn't know I had within me. It's quite frankly, it was what I was looking for that I couldn't find anywhere else. I felt that I was doing something wrong. I was constantly, what do I have to add? What do I have to fill? What do I have to read? What steps am I not doing right? Am I failing my child? Are they disciplined enough? Are they taking advantage? All of that is gone. This is what filled that. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think you've asked all possible questions that I have asked myself, as well. I think it's every parent's journey, and that's why we're on it, to
Yeah.
ask those questions and keep looking. And just to give maybe an overview or maybe like a bird's eye view to people, what do we actually do on this course? How does it fit into your day? Also, we had kind of different components. Our end of the course is slightly different to the beginning, and we took a little pause in the middle. So, what are your thoughts about the structure?
The structure is fantastic. I thought that you had spent years putting it together because when you've when you've gone through it and then you look back, because at the end you do a review of them, of what we've been through each week. It couldn't I it couldn't have been tailored in a better way. For some reason, the way that it flows with each concept each week and the way that we um, journey together was profound. I thought at first that you must have spent many years developing this, almost mathematically. But I wonder, even if you put these, into a bowl and shook it up and sprinkled them throughout the weeks, if I probably feel the same because they're so great, because the concepts are so great. I don't know because I could listen to each one and go back to each week and feel just as moved as I did when I listened to them the first time around. And I have gone back again because they are such a joy to listen to. And again, these aren't things that are requiring anything. Sometimes it's even it's exciting. It's like, oh yes, that's right. I do remember that. Or that is fun to see in my child. Or um yeah.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the breath work that we do at
Mhm,
the end. So,
mhm.
towards our last quarter or third of the journey, we look into integrating what we have been discussing, what we have been living, and we do topical journeys with breathwork. How did that experience was for you?
Mm. Yes, the breathwork sessions I had with you were the most they were the most beautiful sessions I've had. Sorry, but it's true. I had about 5 to 6 sessions prior to trying them with you and another participant. And also, the 3 of those were guided, and some of the others were solo. The way that, again, the way that you guide these breathwork sessions have somehow unlocked something that I didn't know that I could even see or be aware of. I think I have described before with you some of the places that I went during these sessions, some of the sensations that I felt, even some senses that I felt during our breathwork sessions that I don't, like, I can't see on the sides in normal life. I can't see, I don't have eyes here or in the back of my neck or anything, but in a breathwork session, I had that capability. Some things, such profound, beautiful experiences happened in those sessions. And those days, I was always left with a sense of profound gratitude and connection uh, with my children, with my body, and with nature. They were heightened. I feel like I need to do a breathwork session after this. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I love actually doing the sessions together because I'm also journeying with you,
Yes, you
and
are.
yeah, so that feels like we are together, and of course, sharing afterwards is also very helpful to understand what we have done, how that helped to integrate the material, but also what was that for you and how you go on with your day. And that is my wish, that it helps you then to flow with your day, with your children, with who you are, smoother, and feel more yourself. And so thank you for sharing that. Okay, and sort of moving more towards our conclusion for today's discussion. And it is a journey, so it's just a pause, it's not a conclusion. So, in terms of the experience, what would you tell other parents who are considering this course but are not sure right now whether it is for them?
I would tell them this was the best. This is the best course I've ever taken in my life. So it's you have to try it to see. You have to, because I can't put it into words, but it's so worth your time. And it's been the most beautiful journey. I couldn't recommend it more. And you'll just have to try it. That's what I would say.
Okay, delightful. Thank you. So, maybe looking back, what would you tell your former self who was at the very beginning of this journey and not sure how to integrate parenthood and spiritual practice?
That one made me tear up a little bit. I think I would say something that you said in the beginning of the course,
Yeah.
which was, you are whole as you are. You don't need to be fixed. You're doing a great job. And I don't need to add anything to you because you're perfect the way you are. That's what I would tell my former self. And that's how you started the course. So
Beautiful. Yes, and that's true. It's true then, it's true now. We are where we're meant to be, and our children, they are where they are meant to be. And and we are imperfect,
Mhm,
and that makes us perfect
mhm,
because through imperfection, the change and creation happens. So that's why I love journeying together and discovering how our imperfections are actually gifts
mhm,
that contribute to this beautiful tapestry that we are creating together. And I feel that our imperfections are our gifts that are just not yet untapped, and that's why we feel awkward sometimes because we just know that we're different and we don't need to fit in. It will just blend in once we let it to be flowing and relaxing with who we are, what we are, right from our heart.
mhm.
And one more, uh, how would you describe this journey in one word?
Homecoming.
Beautiful. Lindsay, thank you so much for today. And I would leave just this little bit of space for you to say anything that you would like to add, but also don't feel obliged to because we've covered so much ground and space inside and outside, inner and outer cosmos. So I'm just grateful that you were able to join today and trusted me at the very beginning. And I'm here. So just I'll leave this space for you.
Thank you so much. I have to say, when I was uh, thinking about our time together today, I was, of course, going through everything we've discussed and shared, and um, many notes, many like almost like a diary that I was writing this morning. And then I thought, um, because it's so much and it's hard to put into words, and it's sometimes hard to hone in because it's all so profound and important. I kind of simplified it to uh, one statement that I wrote down here, um, like how I've been feeling since going through this. And I wrote, I've never felt more at home as a mother. And so I think that's why I said homecoming. Um, but then I thought, well, homecoming to some people think is like a football dance but that's not what I meant. I meant at home, right? Like that's what I meant. But that's how I feel. Yes, I've never felt more at home as a mom and as a mother. I've never felt more connected um, in every way. Yeah. And yes, this is I could go on for hours. That I just get so excited talking about it because I think this is what people are looking for. And I think it's right here, it's right now. It doesn't require anything of you. And I think if more parents found this, they would feel so much relief and joy and ease and get it just as much as I did.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. I welcome everyone who would like to find out a little bit more about this course below this video. And of course, you can ask questions and reach out via the website. And if you've got other questions that you would like other participants on the journey, other moms and actually grandmothers, we have too, please do say or ask below, and I will see if I could cover them in the next interview with the participants. Thank you and have a wonderful day.